Henry Rollins and Johnny Rotten stand as two of punk rock's most iconic yet opposing figures. Both emerged from movements defined by rebellion, but their philosophies and approaches diverged dramatically. Johnny Rotten, frontman of the Sex Pistols, embodied chaos, sarcasm, and pure anarchy. His sneering voice and provocative lyrics in songs like Anarchy in the UK challenged political and cultural authority through mockery and nihilism. Rotten didn't aim to fix the system. He wanted to expose its absurdity. Henry Rollins, on the other hand, channeled anger into discipline. As the vocalist of Black Flag, Rollins transformed punk's rage into personal empowerment. His performances were intense, bordering on violent, but behind the fury was a deep sense of purpose and control. Where Rotten represented destruction, Rollins symbolized self-determination. His later career, spanning spoken word tours, writing, and acting, reflected a man obsessed with self-growth and expression through work ethic, not chaos. Musically, Rotten's punk was raw and theatrical, while Rollins' punk was physical and confrontational. The Sex Pistols' short-lived existence burned like a cultural explosion, while Black Flag's relentless touring and DIY ethos built the foundation of American hardcore. In spirit, Rotten was the cynic, mocking society with venomous humor. Rollins was the warrior, pushing against weakness through personal struggle. Both influenced generations, yet they represent opposite poles of rebellion. Rotten's destructive satire versus Rollins' disciplined aggression. A philosophy of anger. Johnny Rotten, born John Lydon, epitomized the confrontational ethos of punk in its early days. His anger was externalized, a weapon aimed at society, institutions, and authority figures. Rotten's philosophy seemed simple: expose hypocrisy, dismantle pretense, and watch chaos ensue. The Sex Pistols, music, brash and provocative, reflected a world seen through a lens of nihilism. Rotten's approach to anger was outward-facing, theatrical, and sometimes destructive, making him a symbol of rebellion for disillusioned youth. It was less about personal transformation and more about cultural disruption. Henry Rollins, in contrast, internalized anger and turned it into a tool for self-empowerment. From his early days in Black Flag, Rollins' music and writings emphasized discipline, endurance, and facing one's inner demons. His philosophy treats anger as a catalyst for introspection and personal growth, rather than mere shock value. Rollins channels rage into creativity, motivation, and intense self-expression, transforming frustration into productive energy. His famous live performances, marked by relentless intensity, are a testament to this philosophy. Anger is not just emotion, it's a practice. Contrast between the two figures is striking. Rotten's anger rebels against the world, while Rollins' anger confronts the self. Both have influenced generations, but in fundamentally different ways. One as a mirror reflecting society's decay, the other as a torch illuminating the potential within human struggle. Together, they illustrate that anger is not a monolithic experience. It can be chaos or discipline, destruction or creation, protest or personal evolution. Understanding their philosophies offers insight not just into punk history, but into the broader human struggle to transform emotion into meaning. Authenticity wars. Johnny Rotten, the snarling frontman of the Sex Pistols, emerged in the late 1970s as a revolutionary voice against the stagnancy of British society. Rotten's authenticity lay in his provocation. He embodied chaos, anger, and nihilism. To him, punk was a declaration of revolt, an aggressive rejection of commercialism and social norms. His music and persona were inseparable, a perfect storm of rebellion and spectacle that shocked the world, but also set the standard for what real punk could be. Henry Rollins, in contrast, represents the American hardcore scene, particularly with Black Flag in the 1980s. Rollins' authenticity is grounded in relentless work ethic, personal discipline, and raw emotional intensity. Whereas Rotten's rebellion was often performative and theatrical, Rollins lived his music with an almost ascetic rigor. He embraced a DIY ethic, touring incessantly. writing extensively and transforming personal pain into performance. To Rollins, being authentic meant enduring hardship, facing inner demons, and channeling personal experience into art without compromise. The war between their approaches is not a literal feud, but a cultural debate. Rotten's punk was reactive, anarchic, and outward-facing in immediate confrontation with society. Rollins' punk was introspective, disciplined, and enduring, a lifelong engagement with self and audience. Critics and fans have long argued over which model of authenticity is truer. Is it the theatrical chaos of Rotten, who turned anger into iconic spectacle, or the uncompromising, almost monastic dedication of Rollins, who transformed suffering into creative fuel? Post-punk evolution. Johnny Rotten was the voice of the Sex Pistols, a band that ignited the punk revolution in the UK with their aggressive, politically charged sound. Rotten's vocal style, raw, sneering, and confrontational, became a blueprint for the anarchic energy that defined early punk. Beyond the music, his persona challenged societal norms, embodying punk's anti-establishment ethos. Rotten's later work with Public Image Limited marked a shift toward post-punk experimentation, incorporating dub, electronic, and avant-garde influences. This period revealed his willingness to expand punk beyond its initial chaos, emphasizing atmosphere, mood, and conceptual depth rather than sheer aggression. Henry Rollins emerged in the American punk scene as the frontman of Black Flag, a band synonymous with hardcore punk. Rollins brought an unparalleled intensity to live performances, characterized by physicality, raw vocal power, and unflinching emotional honesty. His lyrics explored personal struggle, social alienation, and political discontent, resonating deeply with disaffected youth. Post-Black Flag, Rollins continued to evolve as a spoken-word artist, writer, and cultural commentator, showing how punk's energy could be transformed into intellectual and artistic exploration. Comparing the two, Rotten represents the intellectual, experimental edge of post-punk, where deconstruction and avant-garde aesthetics push boundaries, while Rollins embodies the emotional, kinetic power of punk, transforming raw aggression into introspection and endurance. Both artists influenced generations of musicians and fans, but their legacies highlight different aspects of post-punk's evolution. Rotten's path underscores punk as a medium for challenging artistic conventions, whereas Rollins' journey demonstrates punk's capacity for catharsis and personal expression.